Hey everyone, welcome back to Damn Tasty Vegan. It's your friend Maria Rose. A couple videos ago, I released a video about how to start your Indian spice kit, what spices to buy, where to buy them, good beginner spices to have on hand if you love Indian cooking. So today I'm going to show you how to put some of those spices to use. We're going to make an Aloo Gobi Matar. Aloo means potato, gobi means cauliflower, matar means green peas. I love to make big batches of these dishes because then I can have them on hand to eat either for lunch or for dinner throughout the week. And it's a great dish to get into if you're interested in taking your Indian cooking to the next level. So I combined a couple of recipes from some of my favorite Indian YouTubers into creating this recipe. So it's not an original recipe, it's just a couple of my favorites blended together, things I love about each one. So I will link below the full written recipe where you can see it all laid out. We're gonna hang out for a minute and I'm gonna show you how to make this delicious dish. First up, let's heat up our oil. If you wanna make this healthier, you can just saute in water, but if you want this to taste nice and rich and full and delicious, oil definitely helps this out. Once your oil and water is heated up, we want to add our cumin seeds. We've toasted our lovely cumin seeds for about 30 seconds. Oh, it's starting to smell amazing. Now we want to add the onion. Make sure you dice up your onion really small. Ooh, listen to that sizzle. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby, yeah, baby, yeah. You want to make sure that you don't burn your cumin seeds. You don't want them to be black, you just want them to be lightly toasted and brown. So our onions have gotten nice and golden brown. Now we're going to add our ginger garlic paste. You want to add about a tablespoon of ginger garlic paste. You can either buy the pre-made garlic paste that I showed you in my Indian Spice 101 video, or you can make your own at home by just blending up in a blender maybe about an inch of ginger and about 6 cloves of garlic with a splash of lemon and a splash of water, as much water as you need to get it to blend. So I happen to make my own because I don't have my ginger garlic paste here. Just gonna saute this for about 1 minute. I love all of the layering and all the flavors in Indian cooking. Oh, layer by layer, just adding all that flavor in. After sauteing that for about a minute, we add in our finely diced tomatoes. We have about 2 medium tomatoes. You can also just put this in a blender real quick and pulse it to help it to break down. The object here is to cook this base until the flesh of the tomatoes start to break down and it becomes a paste. So we're going to add all of our spices as well, all of our dried ground spices. We're going to add our chili powder. Add as much as you'd like for it to be spicy. I'm going to add about maybe 2 teaspoons here. Start with a half teaspoon, go from there if you don't like spiciness. Then our turmeric, about a half of a teaspoon. Beautiful turmeric, that's where you get the yellow color. Nice, full of antioxidants, anti-inflammatory. 2 big teaspoons of coriander. Add a little more, I love coriander. Ooh, I love this stuff. Coriander is just the ground seed from the cilantro plant. This is a bonus spice. This next spice is called hing, H-I-N-G. It's also called asafoetida. I've had this bottle for a while. A little goes a long way. We're just gonna put about a half teaspoon of this in it. If you don't happen to have this, don't worry, just keep it out. But this is a really nice spice to have on hand, especially if you love cooking Indian food often. Now at this point, you also want to add this powder called amchur powder. It is just the ground up powder of green mango. It adds tartness to this, but since I don't have that on hand right now, I'm just going to do a splash of lime or lemon at the very end. Now we're going to saute this with the lid on for about 8 to 10 minutes, about as long as it needs for the tomatoes to start to dissolve and break down. The secret to a really good curry is getting this base full of flavor and letting the tomato base really cook down. Let's take a look at this bad boy. Oh yeah, there we go. It's been about 8 minutes. I'm gonna kind of help this along a bit by squishing the tomatoes. So I used about 6 very small yellow potatoes and I did not peel them, but we'll see if I regret this decision. It's usually recommended that you peel your potatoes, but let's see how it does without peeling it. And then I did about a half a head of cauliflower. I cut it up into little florets. You're so beautiful. Seriously, oh, look at these colors coming together. Now I'm gonna add enough water, just enough water to just barely cover potatoes and cauliflower. I've also seen recipes where people will fry the potatoes and fry the cauliflower separately and then just add them in, and then their dish is pretty much done at this point. This dish can tend to get a little bit mushy if you overcook it, so we want to watch out for that. I'm going to add my salt at this point, salt to taste. So we're going to cover this up until the potatoes and the cauliflower are tender. Yeah, we'll see you back then. Oh, it's looking beautiful, everyone. Oh, if you could smell this. which if you're cooking this tonight, then you are smelling this. You know what I'm talking about. So it's a little bit thinner than I'd like it to be. So I'm going to cook this with the lid off to let it thicken up a bit. And now you can keep this as is, but I want to add some peas. So it's been cooking down a bit, got rid of some of the excess water, it's starting to thicken up a bit. And I tasted the gravy and I wasn't too impressed with the flavors. So I'm gonna add some more spices. I'm gonna add some more coriander, maybe about an extra 2 teaspoons. And I realized because I made a lot, I used quite a bit of potatoes and I used quite a bit of cauliflower. So I probably needed to double the amount of spices in there. Definitely need some more salt as well. So that's the beauty of cooking at home. You can kind of just taste as you're going and adjust the flavors, adjust the seasoning to your liking. Add 3 tomatoes if you're doing this amount. Do 3 medium tomatoes and double all of the spices that you used. We're going to do our last step. So I turn the heat off. And since we didn't add the dry mango powder, or it's also called amchur powder, in the middle of the dish, we're going to add the sourness here because you always want a little bit of sourness and tartness in an Indian dish. There we go. And we're gonna top it with our finishing spices and herbs. So I've got about a small handful of cilantro, also called coriander in certain parts of the world. And then we top it off with our garam masala. Use about a teaspoon. I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons because this recipe is pretty big. And those are our finishing touches. Look, oh man, look at the beautiful colors. So let this dish kind of sit for about 5 to 10 minutes and cool down a little bit. This dish is also amazing as leftovers. That's why I made such a big batch of it. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Please let me know if you had any questions below. Let me know what recipe you want to see me cook next. And I will see you all very soon in the next video. Thanks. Bye.